Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the monthly Kern Valley Healthcare District Board of Directors meeting to order at 2 p.m. First item is the approval of the agenda this afternoon. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion as such.
Director Clark, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Parks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes. Next item is the flag salute. That'll be led by Director Clark, followed by the invocation by Director Elcon.
Everyone, please stand. Flags over here to our right. Your hand over your heart. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
You could remain standing, please. Heavenly Father, I just want to come before you and thank you for the privilege to have a seat on this board, Lord. There are times that we make difficult decisions, and I pray that we make the right ones. I just continue asking for prayer for those that are still being devastated by floods and maybe not receiving help timely. I just ask that you be with those individuals that have been losing power often due to the winds that they say are related to help prevent fires and stuff, Lord. I just know that it can be difficult on those that need their medical equipment, maybe loss of food. I just ask that you keep fires away, Lord. We were dealing with enough of those fires in all the areas. I just ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
The mission statement is on the agenda for those that want to read it. And moving on to item C is the public comment portion of the meeting. Is there any public comment today? We want to welcome Spencer. He's going to be covering our stories in the Kern Valley Sun for now. So welcome, Spencer.
Welcome.
Any other public comments? It's going twice. Okay. Item D is the consent agenda. Again, these are routine and non-controversial items unless a member of the board or a member of the public wants to pull them.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull item 16, the Chief Nursing Officer's report. Mark, I've got questions about one of your items.
Okay, sure. So item 16 will be considered separately. We'll move that to item 4 under new business. Okay. With that item being considered separately, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Okay, thank you, Director Parks. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Elliott. All in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. The consent agenda is adopted. Where are they? Heck am I on this?
Page 3.
Sorry. Oh, way down here. Okay. Our Chief Executive Officer, Tim McGlue, is not here, but Mr. Loveridge is here. You're going to be used to sitting in that seat from now on. So if you want to do Tim's report on his behalf.
The current Board of Supervisors unanimously agreed to submit the grant on our behalf. They asked for indemnification on our side, and we haven't signed it yet. We will indemnify them, so they are not liable. They were worried about that a little bit, but they said very good things about the hospital, and 2 people spoke on our behalf, and it was so. We are also working with Adam Schiff's office. This may be a moot point. This is on the BRIC grant, trying to help us with the BRIC grant, but we're still working with him just in case. You know, nice to have all our options covered, I think. But he's assistant, I don't know if it's assistant, but somebody works in his office, contacted Heidi today, and they were asking for a letter from us, but we haven't done it yet. We will do that. The pharmacy project is going very well. We are going to start delivery by car next week. We have a car, we have a person to do it. The other pharmacy is doing it, so we need to compete with them before we lose too many of our patients. We are starting to lose some of our patients right now, but the way we're hearing it, they don't have a very good reputation. Some of the things they're doing aren't really above board. Could this be gossip? I don't know, but we're competing with them. They're trying to take our patients. The USPS, we are working with a third party named Shippo for the process. We really don't have enough space to do it right now. until we get to the new building, we probably will not do postal service. But I met with the lady from SHPO, and it's a very easy process. It's just, we need space about like this, and we just don't have to. We already some of our prescriptions went down because, like I said, they took some of ours, but last month, we almost had 8,000 prescriptions. A year ago at this time, we had 3,200. So they're working hard.
Is Bob, when's it projected? Is Bob down here?
Bob is coming, he's on a Cal OES call.
Okay.
He'll be here in like 10, 15.
Oh, that's
60 days is what he's projecting right now. And we need to figure out, because we need to alert the Board of Pharmacy to come. But if we do it too early and they come when we're not ready, 60 days starts over again. So we need to really time it closely, and Bob's able to do that, I think. Med Records is very close to moving into the other suite down there. It's got a few things to put together. They are ready to go. And I think it's going to be very helpful to have them close to the AR people, our billers and things like that. And that way they can work together. Coral Health Project is almost completed. Our market-based pricing, we changed some prices to better compete with some of our competitors. And it wasn't a whole lot. We were pretty close to what other people are charging. Our CDM, our charge master, is being updated. Price transparency, we're working with HCI to try to get, we were deficient in some areas there. We didn't do it correctly, but they told us what we need to do, and we are working on that right now. Got about 60 days to get that completed. It's a whole where you have to put on how people pay their bills, how you apply for charity care and things like that. It's a very cumbersome process. Now, it used to be very easy, but the HCI has kind of taken over and really taking their heels down. I guess, I don't know. We received the review of 100 claims for our coding and things like that. We have some work to do, but we weren't expected to be perfect. We got some work to do there. I'm working with Sally and Brenda, and we're going to get that fixed pretty quickly. We hired a new marketing person, Nicholas Caver. He lives in Bakersfield. He's a graduate of Cal State University, Bakersfield. He has worked for some large companies, Disney, Watson Realty, Williams Sonoma. He provided us samples of his previous marketing campaigns. He said, looks good. So he is going to start Monday. He's going to start with his orientation and things like that. And he should be on the job by Wednesday or Thursday.
not exactly what is he going to be doing.
Marketing, he's replacing Deb Hess.
Oh, I didn't know Deb was leaving. I knew she wanted to leave.
She's retiring, yes. Sorry to see her go, but yes.
It'll be hard to replace her, but
Yep.
I'm sure you'll be good.
We are in the middle of a Medi-Cal audit right now for fiscal year 24. They're pretty simple. We just need to provide them a little bit of information. This happens every year. We're preparing for our audit with JWT in October in the cost report. Cost report's due the end of November. That's where we kind of even it up with Medicare, whether pay or receive. We're usually in the receiving mode. And I expect us to be in that small amounts, but we have some problems with our cooling systems. Bob will be able to talk to you a little bit more about that. Most of it's due to the fact that Edison is changing the way they give us electricity. And it messes up our coolers. He can explain it better than I can. It's very technical. We're working with Andy, like you talked about. We want to get pharmacy on our VA contract, and he's doing that for us. We're also reviewing other contacts to try to get other contracts to get additional reimbursement. But nobody wants to give us percent of charges contracts anymore. That used to be the norm. Now it's all fee schedule.
And when you're walking down, we're rural, where we really are. We're so far away from Bakersfield. By the time they take the patient down there in an ambulance and spend $5,000, he could stay here a few days. So, I mean, we're unique to most rural hospitals. They're not close. It's not easy to get there.
It's most of the rural hospitals that he deals with that pretty much the same. They all have to be 35 miles away from another hospital.
Yeah, but we're a hard 35 miles. We're not.
Oh, I know, not easy. Yeah, I agree with you there. We had the CNA graduation ceremony yesterday. It was real great. Ross was there, Catherine was there. We graduated 8 students. They are able to work on the acute side right now, but they cannot work on the SNF side until they pass their tests, which is 60 days away. Hopefully, if everything goes right. So that's a good addition because we need some people there because the census is going up and we're going to need some CNAs in order to handle that. I spoke with the Kern County tax assessor about that piece of land right next to our building down there. The taxes haven't been paid in 4 years. It takes 6 years, so it won't be on auction until 7/1/27. wouldn't give me the information on who owns it. We know who owns it, we just can't get hold of it. She may have passed away, she hasn't paid the bill in 4 years, so
So it'll be going up for auction.
7127. It's a ways away. But hopefully we can get a hold of somebody before
Who's
then.
gonna complain if we use it till then?
Nobody.
No, my-
Made it off.
Nobody. We were thinking about just cleaning it off, but I don't know.
Hey, if it's a dirt lot, you park on
Well, that's, but it's got so many weeds on it, right? We'd have to
Just clean
it.
we.
Scrape it.
We have to scrape.
Yeah.
Marcus volunteered to do it for us. But I was hesitant because it's not ours yet, but maybe that's how we get the person to contact us.
Awesome.
Uh,
forgiveness and not permission, I guess.
yeah. SNF is up to 52, or I think it's 51 today, but we got about 3 or 4 more people coming, and we got about 8 people on the floor with one swing patient. So that's pretty nice right now.
How come it's going up a little? Why, I mean, what, are we doing something?
Robin is working very hard to get these things authorized. She's working hard working with the case managers and things like that to try to get us authorized so we can get paid for these days.
Good, good.
The foundation is purchasing a truck for the maintenance department. I found a panel truck with a lift, about $52,000, and the foundation is agreed to pay for it. We'll bring a CER for the next finance meeting. The Hatchet is donating some generators to us. We talked about this last time. We're just trying to quantify the value of them. But other than that, they're good. It's brand new.
That's so cool.
And that's it for my report.
Are there any
Questions?
questions for John? I was almost gonna say Tim, but John.
I was just gonna ask you a question about mail delivery and the delays, but I have a couple of my customers at my office who switched to the new guys because they got tired of the wait. They were instantly switched to mail service. And mail service.
We're working on it. It's taken longer than we just don't have. If you go in there, you can see there, you got 4 people in the little office.
I understand.
And we need an area probably about this big in order to do it properly.
Hopefully it gets the new building sooner than later. It's possible.
I don't know. I think if we do the delivery by person delivery, it'll take some of that pressure off of us as far as the mailing goes, but still not mailing. We could do a lot more. If we
You could do a lot more, a lot less.
A lot, right. And they are charging their patients for delivery to them. They're still kind of pulling that over when that's.
Shouldn't we be too?
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah, it's gonna cost us, I figure it costs us probably, depending on how many we do, it costs us 20 or 25 per delivery. Take the salary, the gas, and depreciation of the car, exactly. Yeah, so we're looking at that, but trying to figure out where's the break point where they say, I don't want it delivered. You know, they add $25 or $20 to their already high cost.
So you could start with 15 and bump it up as
That's what we're.
Thank you, John.
Any other questions for John? All right, thank you, John. We'll move on to new business. There's no old business this afternoon. Item 1 under new business is Resolution 2506. This is a resolution declaring surplus property, and it's on pages 57 and 58. And this is.
All IT stuff.
I'll-
Yeah, is it just all the stuff that's old and outdated, basically?
You've summed it correctly.
Okay, let's
It's all stuff that there's no support on that we phased out, got new stuff, or stuff that's just been collecting dust forever and tired of looking at it in there. So
Is that have any value to anybody?
I really don't think so. The amount of money it would cost a person to find the other person that maybe something would have value, would probably not be worth it to us. If I'm saying that, you know, you can get on eBay and I'm sure you can find something, but then you got to pack it, sell it, and watch all of that stuff. A lot of this is extremely old.
We tried Kern Valley buy, sell and trade.
We could.
We still have to surplus it.
A lot of it, yeah, even before we do have to do that, but yeah, a lot of it is, it's also like old enterprise level equipment that
Just would be.
I don't want to say no, but it's unlikely.
Does anybody have any questions or comments on the resolution?
So what do you do? Just throw it away?
Let's throw that.
Just gets tossed as electronic.
Cycle.
You take the batteries out so they'll keep working?
Batteries died long ago.
Need a motion on,
Yeah.
motion that's
It's moved by Director Clark to approve resolution 2506. Is there a second?
second.
Second by Director O'Connor. Do we do a roll call for resolutions, Heidi, or just all in favor is fine? Okay.
You can do a voice vote.
Oh, he knew. Oh, I didn't know he was on there. Okay, we'll do a voice vote. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is adopted as presented. The next item on the agenda is resolution 2507. This is regarding the fiscal year budget that Mr. Leverage presented at the last board meeting.
If you motion, we approve it.
Okay, moved by Director Parks. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Elconin. Any other discussions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
What's going on down there?
Sorry, we're reading.
I.
Any opposed?
I.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Resolution 2507 is adopted. Agenda. Okay, item 3 were some concerns that Director Elliott brought up regarding the Medicaid cuts. Director Elliott, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you. So I don't remember what meeting we were in. I think it might have been a building and planning meeting. So a special board meeting. We talked about the impact of the Medicaid cuts on the district. And I was largely ridiculed for bringing it up and accused of listening to the wrong news channels, basically saying my information was wrong. And so I wanted to put together this packet and share my concerns.
You have a copy of it?
It's in your packet.
It's at the
My fear is that we're going to be facing a 20 to 25% reduction in our income come 2027 or 2028. The skilled nursing facility is a revenue generator for this hospital. A lot of the services that we provide don't pay for themselves. And the revenue from the skilled nursing facility subsidizes those services that we provide. The same with the IGT payments or the supplemental payments. We're not getting the reimbursement we need for the services we provide, and those supplemental payments make us whole. In the federal legislation, those supplemental payments are at risk. Nobody knows yet exactly how it's going to shape, what it's going to look like, nor what it's going to look like in California. In California may be a target. We're a blue state, and that seems to be a problem for us financially when it comes to decisions made by the ruling party. And I think we need to start taking some actions now so that we're ready when this storm hits a few years from now. I know next year we're good. The year after we may be pretty good. But beyond that, depending on what happens with these negotiations at the federal level and the applications that California makes to CMS and what they look like, there's a lot of unknowns out there. And so I wanted to bring this to the board's attention. It's not all okay. We may be We just don't know yet. They cut $1 trillion out of Medicaid. And then they say, okay, but we're gonna put $50 billion back for rural hospitals. Well, $50 billion sounds like a whole lot of money. That's 5% of $1 trillion. So it's nothing that they put back. The way that they're talking now, the $50 billion is $1 billion per state, and it's paid over 5 years. So that's $200 million a year divided by all the hospitals in California. It's not going to go very far. It's not going to keep us whole. It's not going to be, it's not going to offset our supplemental payments that we're getting today. I know I've talked to John about this, and the information you're getting so far is pretty positive. The information I'm reading is really bad. So I wanted to bring this to the board's attention. I'm not confident that everything's great for the coming years. And I think we need to take some actions. Like, let's put a list together. Some of these maybe aren't feasible. They're just ideas. There's probably a whole bunch of other ideas out there. But I wanted to just throw some out is, potentially do a hiring freeze, just except for maybe our most essential positions. We need to start saving money. Hopefully we won't have to do layoffs, but if we have non-essential personnel, consider that. Job sharing. So on positions that become vacant, redistribute those duties among the existing staff. Make use of process improvement teams. We can create a bunch of efficiency, undoubtedly, by examining some of the processes we take that take a lot of time and reduce the amount of work it takes to get the job done. And I know Carrie, you've been leading that effort, and we've made some great strides. I think it maybe need to be expanded and continued for sure. At some point, consider freezing pay raises and merit increases. I would hate to do that to our staff, but I think it's something that we need to start talking about and considering. I don't know when you pull the trigger on that, certainly not next year, not now, not next year, but it may be coming. Use AI where possible. Now, I was in a meeting at Current Health Systems this morning, and they gave a demonstration on their AI system they're using to do their outreach. So they're trying to get people to do their enrollment. And so they basically make a robocall, but the robocall sounds like a real person. They've dubbed the name Angelica. So it's a female voice. Angelica makes these calls to their clients.
It's not Alexa.
It's not. Same idea. But they can.
She can talk to you though, right? I mean, she can answer if you ask her
Yeah,
a question. It's
absolutely.
not like a real.
That was part of the demonstration.
Yeah, that's cool.
People were asking questions off the wall, and she would answer them correctly.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. And so they actually got a couple of calls in to the office. Can I speak to Angelica?
But she could answer actually.
She is actually answering all the calls right now. The AI is, and distributing it where they need to go. But they do a lot of outbound calls. They'd hired temp staff to do a bunch of outreach. In the period of time they were measuring, they would do 509 calls with a human calling. This automated system can do 5,250. It can do 1,000 calls an hour. And they're offering it to us. They're offering it to provider agencies in Kern County if we want to take advantage of it.
That would be cool.
Our clinic could do the follow-up calls to verify appointments.
Give me in touch with that person.
Yeah, I will. Yes,
Send you a follow-up on insurance, please.
yes. They've got it. They're doing it's still experimental for them. I mean, they're using it. But I think the possibilities are probably broader than what they're doing today.
Now, who is it you're talking about? I know you said when you first started talking.
Current health systems,
Okay. Cool.
you know, they partner with us. They want us to be successful. We treat their patients.
Treat us very well too.
They treat us very well, and they've offered this to us. If we can take advantage of that, it could be a savings for us.
Now, do we have to house her here, Angelica?
I imagine it'd just be a link somewhere.
One of his boxes?
I don't know exactly how it works, but for example, when they hire personnel to make these calls, on average, it costs them about $11 per call. Angelica only charges $1.50 per call.
There's so much word we could get out and it's free and happy and that would be so awesome.
So I think it's just a money saving thing that we should probably be looking at. Look for new revenue streams, new services that we can provide that will be paid. I know that there's some out there. I don't know
We're looking to go.
exactly what they are, but
Most of those things you said, we are already good.
great. Maybe greater use of mid-level practitioners in our ER. You know, we always default to the most expensive physicians. Maybe there's a more efficient way to accomplish that. I don't know what it does to quality. Hopefully it doesn't affect quality of care.
Spoke about that today. Actually, we have one starting, Todd, who's our NP. He's going to start taking some shifts in the ER.
Great.
Already at a cheaper rate.
Great.
However, we had some pushback from the nurses on it. So we need to work that out.
Okay. Huh. You know, change is hard. Change is hard.
Necessary.
But if my crystal ball's anywhere near accurate, we've got some rough times ahead of us. So I think we might be forced to make some changes. Here's another crazy idea. I don't even know if it makes sense, but limit the number of occupied acute beds that we have to coincide with the nurse staffing ratios.
We do that already.
We do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I know when we look at the monthly charts in the personnel committee, the acute care is always higher because of that nurse ratio. I wondered if there's a way to.
We've had consultants here when Chet was here assessing that. And whenever you get to the next level where you're fitting out, you need another nurse. So it's always going to be negative.
I know, that's what let's transfer that patient out instead of they admit them.
Biggest trouble you run into is if there's one patient, they need two people on the floor.
That's right.
They can't be out there by
And
themselves.
right now they have two
They
people.
need-
So
Okay.
we're at the minimum staffing.
I see.
So our reimbursement for that patient outweighs what we're paying.
Okay. All right. Like I say,
Yeah,
these aren't vetted ideas, but
I've been going back and forth with Chet for 16 years.
Okay. And Mark, this goes to what I wanted to talk about with your, what was in your report. The idea of upping the ER status to a basic level.
Yeah.
From a standby. My concern there, I think is a great idea. I would love to do that. I'm just worried about what the cost is going to be and if we can actually afford
It's
it.
going to be costly.
Yeah, I know.
But right now, we've talked about this in the past. Right now, we don't have enough staff on at midnight, between midnight and 2 a.m. to provide meal relief for the night shift.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason that we need to go this direction. Secondly, when you have a call off, right now, there's only one nurse in the ER. Have a call off. You just can't staff it that way. Not our ER, not anymore. When I was working night shift, it was doable. We had fewer patients, but right now the patient load and the acuity and the restrictions on transferability are requiring us to do some other things. So We're gonna move the 10 to 10 back to 7 to 7 on the day, so there'll be 2 RNs and a house supervisor on days, 2 RNs and a house supervisor on nights. This will also satisfy the physicians that are back there. They've been screaming for the while now. So EMS has also expressed concerns for the staffing that we have in IER because we are so isolated here. So that's another reason that we decided to try to go this route.
So I guess what I'd like to see is, this is kind of off the subject of what I wanted to talk about, but I want to see a cost benefit analysis. I want to know what these changes are going to cost the district and
Okay.
what are our benefits.
We've done it.
So the board can see that, right?
I'll give some formal on that, but it's
Okay.
gonna cost us in rough terms, 200,000 or so a year. But if we can have the flow through, we'll eliminate the leave without being seen, and that'll increase our revenue. We're
Okay.
hoping it'll be a budget neutral or budget positive.
Show us your numbers.
All right.
I think the board would be interested. I know that we've been going that direction and the
Right.
board hasn't been involved.
I can tell you the cost, but as far as the projecting, how much it's gonna improve our census,
I know it's an estimate.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I get it.
But it wouldn't take that many patients to make up that money.
Well, kind of like the handwriting is already on the wall. There's increased visitation right now that we're seeing. Back in the day when I was doing it, it was 18 a day. Now we're 23 a day.
Okay.
So the reality is we need more people.
We've got the numbers. Okay,
And that's a money maker.
okay, yeah,
That's not the money spender.
Yeah. okay.
Is that consistent? Is there times whenever it's slower?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
do you
But
have
we keep,
nurses?
we keep averages.
Could we pay nurses to be on standby that would be at ready?
Well, there's some other discussion about standby pay as well, but
Well, I
we
mean,
We're looking into
you gotta
that.
look at that too.
We're looking at it. We're trying to interpret. the
Anyway,
laws.
I guess the reason for that to be off the consent agenda is to ask you to bring those
Sure.
details to the board so that we can get up to speed on it. and
fair enough.
Make sure we're all on board. Another idea, and I don't know if this is feasible, I don't know if it's a good idea, is examine the costs and benefits of converting our ER to an urgent care facility. I don't know if that'd be smart financially. It probably wouldn't be great for care for the community. But if our backs are against the wall financially, what's the feasibility of it? What does that look like? And possibly make greater use of trained volunteers to serve as patient monitors in the skilled nursing facility rather than paid staff.
That's a touchy one because
We're volunteers.
certain things you can.
No, there's regulations. You have to have a certified nursing license to even touch a resident.
To be a patient monitor, you have to be a CNA.
No.
That's all I'm talking about, is
Patient
patient
monitor
monitor.
with them. We do have those.
Okay.
But as far as providing care of any kind.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, not care, just a patient monitor.
We
is
do
all I
have a
said.
patient monitor, but it's not, she's paid.
I
Some
don't
of the
know.
monitors
Yeah.
out there.
Just looking at maybe if we could get our
We're good with that.
candy stripers back to volunteering in the hospital rather than just the store.
Mostly what they did was the front desk there. Registry
Okay.
people, or not so much registry people, but just kind of say.
Yeah, but maybe
directing
maybe we need to expand.
In times past, we have had those, but there's not a lot of people signing up for volunteer work.
Well, that's a big push in the near future, even now, is trying to get more pink ladies, blue gents to volunteer. So if we can get that up and get the right people in there and it's all kosher, then maybe, but. you
If
gotta
it
get
keeps us,
volunteers
if it
in.
keeps the doors open, I think it's something we ought to talk about.
We'll look into it.
And that Angela, your remote thing, could ask for volunteers in a very cheap way, to maybe organize the pink ladies again,
Yeah.
where they actually have bodies in here.
Yeah.
That did awesome jobs.
They did a great job.
Yeah, and that Angela is her name,
Angelica.
Angelica.
She gets really offended. when you-
Oh.
So, we're not only looking at the threat of losing some of our supplemental payments, But the cuts to Medicaid will force automatic cuts to Medicare. And so Medicare will reimburse at a lower rate. I'm hearing 3.5% to 5% lower. So whatever revenue we're getting from Medicare may be lower in the future. And it's kicking a whole bunch of people off health insurance. Now I've heard 8 to 15 million nationwide. That number in Kern Valley, I don't know. But we can anticipate there's going to be a fair amount of our people that we serve that are going to lose their health insurance.
That what they're saying is the biggest part of their cuts is people that's on it that shouldn't be eligible.
Okay, I guess my concern is, where are they going to go for their health care? They're going to come straight here and they're not going to be able to pay. We're going to be carrying that burden.
But the ones they're kicking off is able-bodied people that's able to work, but don't choose not to, or work under the table and get everything.
I know that's the line. I don't know if I buy it, but I know that's.
As
When Clinton
someone
did
that
it-
worked at the welfare office for over 10 years and retired
Yeah.
there.
I'm sure there's some out there.
When
Oh,
Clinton did
well,
it in the
yeah, a
90s,
lot.
everybody loved it. It's exactly, he did
Anyway,
exactly the same thing.
We're going to be dealing with people who don't have insurance.
Right.
They're going to lose their insurance,
Right,
and they're still going to come to us for
But
care.
we don't have that many people
true.
that's in that position here.
It's basically a shift of responsibility from the federal government right in our laps.
But we've got a minimal, and they said they will not cut Medicare, and I believe it.
That's a lie. They didn't. They just cut it 3.5% to 5%.
Medicare.
Yes.
We get paid cost on Medicare. There'll be a sequestration that we've had a sequestration of 2% right now. They're talking about adding it, increasing it to 4%, but they're negotiating that right now. We're always going to get cost minus a couple percent.
I'm not sure that continues into the future.
Critical access hospital.
They have
guidelines.
to.
Yeah, I'm not sure that continues into
Unless
the
they take the
future.
critical access hospital designation away from us, that's not going away.
Let me answer.
A little bit.
I don't watch Fox.
Yeah,
I do read a lot of it. Ross, if I might just speak one more.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I share your concern about future and how right now, in my opinion, it's cloudy. We don't know what's coming 2 years from now. We hear a lot of chitter chatter from both sides of the fence. And I don't believe either one of them until I start seeing the repercussions are going. I don't disagree with you with what could happen in the future. What could happen is irrelevant. I do know one thing. I had a person who's a customer of mine that has been at a dentist since 1987. They put word out that 5 of their departments is being closed May 1st of next year. AR, AP, IT, human resources, and chain supply. They're all being shipped to India. Wow. Those employees were told if they choose to stay until the end, there's something extra for them. But those 5 departments at Adventist are gone come May. So that's all I know. I don't know if it has anything to do with what they're looking at.
I don't know what they're.
AI probably has something to do with it.
Don't know. All I know is we don't know what's going to happen a couple of years from now. I don't want to see us making poor decisions in advance as a team.
But Russ has some good ideas.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I don't want to see us making
I
poor
believe
ideas. Poor
all of his projections, we don't know.
No, if I could address some of the, I mean, I have your concerns, but not to your extent that you do.
Let me
A lot of these things-
add one more thing,
Go ahead.
then I'll let you.
All right, go ahead.
I sit on the current health systems board. They're making cuts now. They're preparing for the future because they know the hammer's coming. And so we're going to get less revenue from current health systems in the future because they know it's coming. If we're not planning for that, if we're not ready for that, we're in trouble.
We are planning though. That's what, a lot of the things that you talked about, we've already talked about and we're trying to implement. Also, we are trying to increase our census, which you're talking about IGT is not completely way. It's going to be 20%. 20% would be $2 million to us. We can get 4 more patients in our
We're
SNP.
really profitable about $1 million a year. 2 million closes.
Can I finish?
Sorry.
If we could get our SNP increase, the census there, it's about $178,000 per year per person in that. Way. Do by 4, it's about $800,000, which takes part of years. We can reduce our expenses by 3%. That's another 1.2 billion. We can get our inpatient higher census. That is more. All the IGT is based on inpatient days. We could get that increased, even a decrease of 20% will get us to status quo. If we stay status quo, we are fine. We're very strong financially. We are looking at a lot of the things I like some of your ideas, and we're already talking about them. But as Fred just said, I don't think we know what the extent of this is going to be quite yet.
But John, if you spend that money that you say we've got so much for construction, 400,000 of that is investment money. We'll lose that. It's in the bank. We're getting paid interest on it right now.
Right.
If you use it, that'll be gone away, 400,000. So we'll
lose that interest. You're right. Hopefully we will gain if we make the hospital look better.
Yeah. But we got to do that.
Right.
We can't.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not concerned about this bill. I am, definitely. But I also think there's going to be a lot of negotiations in the meantime, which are going to change some of the things that are happening.
So most of the money that we get for the revenue from the skilled nursing facility is basically from Medi-Cal, right? There's almost 100% Medi-Cal.
Right. Management account.
Yeah. Where's that money going to come from? Because Medi-Cal money is Medicaid money. We don't know what that's going to look like in the
We
future.
don't, but it's based on a fee schedule. It's based on cost of it could
But they're
cut
going
it.
to change that fee schedule. If the feds force those cuts on California, it's going to come right down to us.
They can't kick people out of this nursing
It
homes.
has
They
changed.
just can't do that.
Right.
Of course,
Right.
I think a lot of the cuts are going to be for people who shouldn't be having Medicare, Medi-Cal. And I think also if the economy gets better as it's going to be, we're going to have more people employed and more people are going to have commercial insurance. And the reliance on Medicaid may be less.
So you believe in the trickle down theory?
I sure do.
That's never worked. Never.
Just charge more taxes if you need more money, right?
Yeah, that's.
They do that now.
Yeah, let's tax everybody to death.
I think if we continue down the path of, oh, this isn't going to be that bad, I think we're going to be in trouble.
We're not going down that path. We are preparing for this, thinking the worst.
Okay.
We are prepared. We're going to be prepared. And it's not happening for 2 or 3 years. We're already starting to look at cost reductions and increasing our census. And that's the way we're going to get back.
Hope you're right.
I wonder
I'm
what
not the only one that
we've
thinks
been
it's
doing
It's
that.
not just me. A lot of people, I've spoken to DHLF, which is our advocacy group that supports us, and they're saying 20-25% reduction. But it's also increasing. This year's going up. And so the cuts are going to be made on a higher amount, which the cuts will be bigger, but we're also getting more. And our financial position right now is very strong.
And the economy is going to get better. Wages are going to go all over, and our wages are going to go. So our sort of average right now that we're paying our employees. And so we're going to have. We'll deal with that too.
But I mean, you talked about hiring freezes. We could implement that, but I don't think that's the time right now.
Not yet.
But
It's too early
we
to
are
pull
prepared
that.
to do that if
Yeah.
necessary. And we are also prepared to increase wages. If that happens.
Yeah.
But
I hate to do that, but it's too early for that.
Too early for that. I
We
agree.
don't know yet.
Everything's on, we want to do, but we need to just kind of wait and see what's going to happen first. But we still need to be prepared, and we will be.
I think we should move forward as fast as possible with process improvement.
I agree
With
with
the
you.
AI.
Yes, we're looking at, I mean, AI comes into play in some of these just naturally with process improvement. There's some physician tools we're looking at that will help decrease the time that's they spend on notes.
Right.
I'm not the guy to really say, how true it is, but there's lots of studies that are indicating that that's the case. And then just our overall workflows with the systems that we use a lot of abstract systems that don't talk to each other, which creates burden on lots of different departments.
Okay.
So that's a big thing we're looking at right now is how can we unify more systems, move to one system that kind of all talks together that will alleviate a lot of the burden on people. That'll help the workflows a lot.
Okay.
Which may mean you need less people in the department as natural attrition happens.
Right, as we get more efficient, we
Yeah.
will go.
We won't fill a vacancy.
Perhaps,
Right.
who knows? But those are just some of the strides we're making just to
Okay.
Mark,
Mark, I'm sorry. I cut you off
To
earlier.
your point regarding staffing, we are at minimum staffing levels right now.
Okay.
So as far as getting volunteers to work, that's fine and good. And to watch some of the wanderers, we do that. Some of the wanderers are getting more aggressive. We're trying to protect the other residents and the staff with these wandering, with those observers. But we're at minimum staffing levels right now currently. So we can't take it down any lower is what I'm saying. So they have an hours per patient day ratio from the skilled nursing center.
Yeah.
And they have minimum staffing ratios and patient acuity data over on acute care. So we do kind of staff to the minimums already.
That's all critical access hospitals. We need to have a radiology person there, whether we have one X-ray or 100 X-rays.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Anyway, thanks for the discussion, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good information.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I don't know if I should say it now or wait till director's comments. I guess it doesn't really matter, but, well, I was only I was waiting for everybody else to finish. No, Director Elliott, all I was going to say is, thank you for sharing this. I think, regardless of what political party you're on, I think it's a healthy discussion. One thing that I've talked about with not only you, but also with John and Tim, one of the things that I remember when I hear about Medicare, Medicaid cuts, whatever the case may be, is what the hospital went through in the late 1990s. And of course, Mark and Heidi remember because they were here at the time. But when they did the Balanced Budget Act in 1997, our hospital didn't really get hit with those cuts until 2 years later. And at that time, there was no action plan to plan ahead for the cuts. And of course, we had a Cal mortgage bond that we couldn't pay either, and almost got foreclosed on. And so I like to think, at least in this situation, hopefully we are planning now, like it has a worst case scenario kind of thing. So, yeah, I know that they're rough discussions to have when we get to that point. I don't want to see a repeat of 99, 2000 where we're, struggling financially and we can't make we don't have Cal mortgage anymore. We have the refinance bonds where we end up defaulting or something like that. So, but anyway, either way, this, I think, is a very healthy discussion.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for putting this together. And I admit, I tried to read the bill itself, and admittedly, it was kind of confusing to me because there was some inconsistencies in some of the.
Yeah, similar pages.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's not made to read. It's meant to hide.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was just my 2 cents. Thank you for putting it together. And if there's any more discussion that, or any other.
I would like to make a comment.
Okay.
Personally, when you or me or anybody else on the board, when we attend either via phone or Zoom, it's not like being in the room. So you can't really read the people that are in the room. I actually listened to I was here. I listened to you. I didn't make any comments. So, and when I ran for the board, I ran as an individual. I really don't personally like being grouped as the other members of the board. I mean, you weren't in the room. I didn't comment on anything that was being said or not said. I just listened. And I have a lot of different beliefs than probably most people, but I just really, I have concerns. I feel like I'm being called out because I don't have the same concerns. And I do. I have concerns about the hospital. If I didn't have the concerns, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. I wouldn't have worked here when I worked here. So not just for you, but for anybody else on this board, please do not lump me in the other board members. I can speak for myself. And I'm sorry if you didn't feel like I felt the same exact way. I don't feel the same way as everybody else most of the time.
Right, you're probably right then.
But we do have concerns, and it's not something that we need to argue about. I appreciate that you put this together. I appreciate everybody's explaining to all of us that this is what we're addressing now. Yes, we have talked about that. And yes, but everybody has their opinion. Listen to just any news. I don't even turn it on at my house anymore because I can't sleep at night if I do. I have personal stuff that goes on. But so my concerns come from all the comments that come from everybody else. Who knows how it's going to work? I'm not a big fan of public elected officials, even though, I sit here as one, because there's so much hate towards each one. You can't open your mouth without saying something that is offensive to one person or another, and it's taken out of context. So I do appreciate what you wrote, and I do appreciate your concerns. I just would appreciate it from everyone on the board. Don't lump me in your comments, because what I say here in public, and I try not to hurt other people's feelings. I try to listen to what everybody's saying. But again, we've got this here as in a public meeting, and written words that other members of the board of directors do not seem to share my concerns. I think we all have our concerns. They may not be the same exact one. But for all the other board members, I appreciate it if you're making comments, make comments of your own, not whether you feel have the concerns or same concerns or not.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't addressing you specifically. That was,
No, you said the other board members.
there were other board members I felt completely poo-pooed.
And I
I brought
understand.
these concerns and nobody seemed to take it seriously.
I understand
That's the
that.
impression I got.
And I also know that you got kicked off the phone and we got you back on. I mean, that's why I'm saying when you're not in the room, it's hard to read
Yeah.
what's going on. But you didn't say some of the others or all the others. It was the other board members. And please do not, I'm just
Fair.
asking this of
That's fair.
everybody.
That's fair.
Okay, thank you.
One more thing that I'll just say, even though it's a nonpartisan board, I think we've had some issues over the years, I know, and I'm guilty of it too, but I think this board really does work very well.
I think
I
we
think we
We
do.
joke back and forth.
Yeah, and well, even today,
Whoever
I mean,
does the best, I don't care who it is.
Well,
So
but even today, I mean, I know Director Elliott and Director Park, sometimes you guys disagree on a lot, but there was a lot that you actually agreed with today, which I think that's productive and it's helped well. Just. But, and, Catherine being first vice chair, I think we work very well on the governance committee and even though, sometimes we don't always agree politically, Ross, 9 times out of 10, you and I find common ground on what's best for the hospital too. So
Right.
I think it's, I
And
think
that's
it's
why we're all here. I agree
Exactly.
with that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, coming back to the issues going on the federal level, I think the 5 of us will be able to come together and figure out what's in the best interest of the
There'll
hospital.
be no difference if
That's the best interest of the-
or something or what.
Yeah.
So it works.
Oh, I'm sorry, Boz, go ahead.
So I'd like to say I agree with most everything you're saying that we need to look at. You're hitting anybody. I lost the 32. And the chances of me getting another one are slim. I had another meeting today. I got another meeting on Monday, but having worked in hospitals for 45 years, I've gone through these cycles for a long time. And there are times that you got to tighten the belt because it really doesn't matter who's in power. It's just that when cuts happen. And the first thing you do is lay off some staff, look at all of your contracts and cancel ones you're losing money on, try and increase the ones that you can, and get back in good graces. And we're just in one of those where, we got some little cuts, and I agree with keeping a close eye on.
Things could get better too. I mean, you know, might not get as bad as
Maybe.
we think.
I hope
We
so.
need to prepare. You're right. We need to look at it.
Bell bottoms came back. I was happy.
Director Clark had a comment, and I accidentally left you out of my comment, so I enjoy working with you too. Go ahead.
I just have a question for you in regards to the CEO report. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about pharmacy being 60 days out. So we're 2 weeks closer, so we're closer to 45 days out now, or are we back to 60?
My biggest concern is arrival of some. Don't have a ship date on it. It's going well. I'm hoping that in about 6 weeks, I can be pretty much done with, the scope of construction. Yes.
But if we're done with the scope in 6 weeks. that's
Is it the
still 2 months
security
to
stuff
get the
that's holding some of it up?
No, we're going to notify Board of Pharmacy substantially. John, we need to discuss when.
I'm trying to line it up. I just don't want to do it too early, like I said.
Right. I'm just struggling with the arrival of Kevin. So. Yeah, the rest of the work's going.
It's nice down there. You guys can go look. It's making progress.
I just got my fingers crossed because I don't want a third party vendor screwing this thing up.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bob?
Yeah.
Was there anything on your call with OES that needs to be shared?
Well, okay, so today's meeting was just with a person, Haggerty Consulting, in preparation for the Monday's phone call, which is with the head people of Callaway.
Okay.
And so basically, because we had to wait on the county a few weeks, our project, which was all right in front of everybody and they were ready to go gung ho on it, got shelved. So now what we've got to do is convince Callaway on Monday to get that back up front and to award the monies long before they're going to award the monies from that particular grant. Right. Because again, I think it's I think they're being awarded $5 billion, and the requests in already are at
10 billion.
10 billion. Yes, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And so our only hope is literally that they earmark our monies early because of the issues with HCOT. Otherwise, I would say we're lost in the works, and the monies aren't going to go out till 2027 and 28. So I told them it has to happen sooner. It's just or HCOT is not going to extend. If Callaway can give me a finite number past April of 2026 and say, yes, we will have you an answer, no answer, but say 2 or 3 months late, I says we can probably get HCI to agree to that. Because we've already discussed it with, but they're not going to give us another year extension, right? Not likely. For a year and a half. So
What would it cost us to do the plans again if we have to do that? Comes to that.
another $1 million to $1.5 million.
Well, the plans, and then if they put us under a different building code, it's another 7 million.
Well, and there's my problem because we were given a whole lot of grace of not coming to even to the code section we're applying.
Exactly.
So, I'm not going to hold my breath because I'm very concerned that these monies don't come through. If they don't come through, then it's time to sit down and say, okay, we're not doing the project, but let's see what can we do with some of the monies that we have set aside to improve certain areas such as ER or pharmacy or some wherever, roof care, roofs and stuff like that. Yes. So that's where we're at, and I've told you I'll stick it out through the project. If the project doesn't happen, I'm still willing to stick it out through a reduced scope project. I'm very, very frustrated because I put a lot of years of work into that grant, and to have it canceled on us 2 weeks from signing was really disheartening.
Isn't that the one Sheriff called about this morning?
That was
Yes.
the original brick grant, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one.
right. So I'm hoping
That was-
Oh, I
right,
thought.
so hopefully by Monday I may have a better feel how it is.
The state did sue the federal government over the brick grant, and the preliminary decision is federal government, you have to pay. So, that'll get appealed and
Right.
it'll take
And-
years.
And at that point, yeah, it's years down the road and our plans are moot point. And so, it's, I've been working on this project for 10 years. And it's very disheartening to get this close. And I'm not over there yet.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. By the way, Director Elliott, did you get your question answered on the CNO report that we pulled from consent
I did.
agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want to go ahead and approve that?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Okay.
Sorry.
Motion by Director Elliott and it's second by Director Clark. Any discussion or? Hearing none, all in
Thank you,
favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, passes. All right, we're on the director's comments portion on the agenda, so we'll come back to Director Elliott.
I've made enough comments today.
All righty, thank you. Director Clark, any comments?
So thank you all for being here. Take a deep breath. We're not through it yet. That's all. Have a good day, everyone.
The winds are tapering off, so I don't think we're going to be shut off today, but here in town is shut off and all of Kernville on that side is all shut. That's why my phone's here.
Paradise Cove is off.
Yeah, I heard. I think what it was. Director Alcon, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to again, thank those that put the graduation together, for yesterday. It was well attended. I think, it was nice to see. Everybody seemed, my great granddaughter and I went to everybody's table, and spoke to them. She congratulated them. I prepped her all the way there. So she would know to introduce herself and tell them, congratulations. So we made that. So that it was nice to see. I was amazed at the number that couldn't decide if they wanted to stay or if they were going into something else. Because I asked, I was, kind of nosy. So I hope most of them stay. I hope they get their, past their state and stuff and are willing to stay. I didn't speak, which, it's kind of weird for me, I guess, but it was hard to listen to the stories for those that did speak, because they told their own experiences and how much CNAs are appreciated and stories about their loved ones. And so by the time I was like, yeah, I'm just like, I can't right now, So I appreciate those that told their personal stories. And my heart goes out to those that have actually had to deal with that type of stuff. But it was good, and I look forward to the next class. Hopefully, we're going to have more classes. And yeah, my great granddaughter said that lasagna was great, so she loved it. But thank you, and thank you again, Ross, for putting the information together. You make a great secretary with all your little information, so I do appreciate that.
Director Parks, anything?
I'm really happy. I'm going to proactive and looking for ways to do things rather than just, we'll do it tomorrow. And so it's very, very encouraging. Everyone's here. And Bob, that generator I've been keeping an eye on for a while, sitting out here, where did it go?
It's still there, but I haven't had time. We're going to move it up to HR.
I didn't see it out there. I don't think
But
it's still there.
somebody stole it since
It's
yesterday.
probably up there.
But it's bolted to the concrete, so it's a little hard to steal.
Anyway, everything seems to be going, other than potential could be going bad, we're dealing with it, it looks like. That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Director Parks. And my only comments, I thank you all for coming, and I thought this was a very productive board meeting this afternoon. And that's really all I had. So with that, we'll adjourn to the closed session at 3:05. Scott's on the phone.
Russ, I think we agree on that one. Probably, yeah, we're not gonna go. So I think a lot of these things I've ever.
I'll just print this and this.
And I'm gonna start.
Way to get the closed session report.
I'm ready.
Go right ahead, sir. We're back in open session.
Okay, so in closed session, council updated the board on the Benson, Volkov, and Rostad existing litigation cases. No action was taken and no other items were discussed.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you
And
all.
with-
Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, have a good day. That we're adjourned at 3:20. I guess I have to go a different route if the big volume's on.